Virgo, welcome to your Astroflower reading for the week going from the 20th to the 26th of March. There's still some magical stuff in the air. We're going to be going into your chakras, your aura, and also doing a tarot reading on this weekly reading. We have done a collective for the equinox and your own individual reading for the equinox as well. Let's just sort of open up the portal and let's allow that Astroflower man to come through. There you go. We're connecting to everything. Right, let's get into your chakras. What's going on with your root chakra here? Trying too hard, basically, by the looks of things. It's really pulling tightly on your foundations at the moment. That is a good thing because it keeps you on the straight and narrow. But it seems like you might be pulling a little bit. It might be a little bit too stringent, a bit too hard on yourself, basically. But it's definitely, you know where you're going in theory, and you know what you should be doing. It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be getting there, because we're in a world which is completely messed up. The human collective is, yeah, you know what they're like. So, yeah, it's can be quite difficult because obviously you've got to deal with everybody else in the universe, or in this planet at least, you know, and everything else that goes along with it. But it just seems like it's really pulling a little bit too hard on that route at the moment, and I would just be gentle with yourself at the moment. Let's just see what's going on in your sacrum. It's not defined enough. So basically, you might be sitting there kind of going, I want this, I want that, I want this. And if it's like, I want a car, you know, it's kind of going, you might end up with an old banger, you know, an old wreck of a car. You know, you've got to be, I think you've got to be a little bit more sort of precise with yourself. It could well be at the moment that you're sort of like finding your feet within, in the direction that you should be taking. That's very possible at the moment. It's just that the sacrum is missing that punch through, basically. And I think it would help you to define a little bit closer the sort of things you want to be doing, and etc. How you want it, what color you want it, how much you want to be earning, that sort of thing. Just really sort of getting a little bit more sort of precise. There's no point sort of saying I'd like to be a writer, because you could be a writer. Anyone could be, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get any money out of it. So, you know, I'd start getting a little bit more precise with your fundamental desires, basically. Okay. It's quite nicely balanced, though. It's not too bad. There's a little bit more going on your material side of life. Sorry, trying to get there. Material side of life. And that's where you could maybe look into getting a healthier work play ethic going on. Okay, let's just see what's going on your solar plexus. Well, it seems to be organizing that transition stuff. So basically, you know, the idea, which is the base, the idea is that I want a sandwich. And I've decided what sandwich I want in it, and etc. Then I've got to go through the process of making the sandwich, and that's the background stuff before you can get to the point of going, very nice, you know. So, and that's what seems to be the passions. Your passion seems to be in the organization phase, which ties in nicely with your sacrum. It's got a sacred chakra. It's got to be said. Yeah. So it's much more within the transition phase. So you're moving on with your projects, but you've got to sort or within your relationships as well. But it's a case of you're not there yet. There's a thing still that you're sorting out by the looks of things. Let's see what's going on in your heart chakra. Yeah, this is where you're too hard, I think. I think the heart chakra is, I think you know what you want. This is the funny thing. I think you know what you want. And but it's not defined enough, or it's just simply sort of kind of going, I'd like to be rich. And that's, there's whys and whens, hows, and all of that sort of goes along with it. And that desire is not strong enough to manifest what you want. I think you can get a little bit more precise on things. And once you do get it precise on things, that's where your heart is going to be really telling. Once you get the definition, your heart is going to cut through anything that's going to get you there. It's certainly going to get you on that way to there. There is a certain degree of networking and socializing going on. And I think that has to tie in with the organization that's going on under the surface. It's the making of the sandwich mode, as you might well say. Okay, so but it does seem nice. It's not large, so I don't think there's major love on the horizon or exploring love per se. I think you've got other aspects in your life which are more important, I think. And I think that's true to most earth signs as well at the moment. So yeah, it's it's not bad, but it's really it's so fine, the direction of your heart, that's where you're going to need the definition. Otherwise, that fineness is only going to be creating frustration for you. Third eye and throat chakra. There is a lot, because of this solar plexus is demanding in the middle and that transition. You got a lot more going on up there. So meditation every day, sorting out your needs and your wants, having a tea meditation, it's really important. That'll keep you very much more sort of focused. It'll keep your energy charged and directed into manifesting the things that you so desire in your sacrum, but also within your heart as well. And it'll give you that clearer vision and make you work a little bit more efficiently, which will help you out. Because you want to do a lot by the looks of things, and you want it to go quickly. And sometimes you're dancing faster than the music is playing. And so I would be just a little bit wary of that. In your throat chakra, what other sign was like that? There was another sign that was like that. I'm trying to think which one it was. I can't remember. Anyway, it's the communication is matter of fact. It's not going deep into things. It's either saying to someone, I didn't appreciate that. That's it. I'm not going to go into the details, just telling you I didn't appreciate it. Or in your communication within your workspace, it's kind of going, we should be doing it like that. I haven't got time to explain to you all and why. This is how I want it to be done. Sort of scenario. And that sort of communication there has got to be, it's got to be precise and clear. And that's going to help you out if you get a bit of definition of where you're going, or your desires, basically. Let's see what's going on the crown chakra. It's not too bad. It's. I think you're enjoying pushing life a little bit, pushing the boundaries of life. But there is also there is a bit of a curve at the bottom, but tends to be, more than anything else, it tends to be very straight, so it's very ordained, matter of fact, getting on, doing things, basically. So that's your consciousness is driving that into what I would say is on your cards that we'll see later on. I think it's this side here that's going to be playing, be most important, or most influential upon you at the moment. Okay, let's just have a look at your aura. Okay. Wow. There is a lot of mechanical stuff coming up at the end of the week. It's almost as if like things, pennies are dropping just like that. Bump, 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 bump. You're working, you're realizing a lot of things. There is an effect upon you in the earlier to mid, say part of the week, which is a Tuesday. Everyone seems to be getting this. And I think I'm going to be doing a special on Sunday about that. Because there seems to be something coming through the air at the moment. I'm wondering if it's not something from the outside world that's happening in the outside world. Okay? But there is definite, within you, there's realizations that we're talking Friday, Saturday, Sunday of the week, sort of like the 24th, 25th, 26th. Around that period there, you'll know how to deal with a lot of stuff. So you just go ahead and do it, you know. Let's just see where you're... Yeah, as I was saying, there was not enough definition in your sacrum. And the energy seems to be flowing in that sort of direction. Now, there is quite a bit flowing as well to your third eye, which is a good combination between the two. I think this is maybe the realization is that's where you're going to get the definition at the end of the week about your desires. So mull them over, enjoy yourself. Make sure you got that work play ethic. You know, do take time out to enjoy life. And once you do that, I think it's going to trigger a lot of realizations within you within the week. Okay, let's just go on to your chakras. So we got the overall energies, the karmic messages on your relationship side, on your financial sort of side, on your material side, influence from the universe, influence from your past self or your guides within the coincidences, the physical world that is around you. The conversation, how the guides are trying to influence the conversation that is within you, the conversation you have with yourself, and the overall outcome. Let's just see what's going on here on your... Okay, so on this side here, it's all very smooth. I think it's very stable relationships. I wouldn't put any pressure on it at all, your relationship side this week. And if you don't put any pressure on it, it would actually be really quite nice and easy. I think you got... Okay, it's a two-humped thing. The universe and your karmic mission seems to be really important. That's what that root chakra is all about, and that solar plexus. But there is something going on in the consciousness, which is, and you got another height there going on there. So it'd be interesting to see what comes out in this petal here. Petals 9 and petals 3 and 4, basically. Be interesting what comes out there. They seem to be the most active out of the whole lot. Let's just see what your overall energies are for this week. Planning. 2 of Wands, exactly what I said earlier on. It's that transitional sort of stage. I think you've made that decision, as I say, with that wand that is behind him. It's standing by itself. So you've accomplished stuff. And now you're at the edge of the sea, sort of holding that world in your hands, as if to sort of say, where do I go from here? Let's do some other stuff. And it's you've got to a stage, you should be getting to a stage in your life where you should be able to sort of open up to possible plans for the future. If you feel like you haven't done anything and you're to a stage you're kind of going, what do I do? That's because you've come to that realization that I'm not doing anything and I've got to do something. And that's where the planning comes in. So listen to your heart. Get involved in your heart. Get a nice bit of structure on your heart's desires and on your fundamental desires, and you'll get that. You know, you really will. Let's just see what's going on here. Okay, so your karmic path for your relationship side is the 7 of Cups. You could say procrastination, but I don't think it's that at all. I think out of all those cups, there's only one that's really shining out for you. One of those cups will be the most evident thing for you to do. And it will be that sort of shining cup that shines the most for you at the top, basically. And that is your evident path. So here is no pressure on it. Just let it flow through. That's the sort of energy that's coming through on that sort of thing. On the relationship side, how the universe is influencing you is the Empress. So the Empress is preparing to marry body, mind and soul. I think this is where you need to get this side organized in order to have an injection of passion within your relationships that are around you. You might want to do loads of things within your couple. You might want to go out and meet someone for the first time. But if you don't have any money, you can't do half the things you want to do with that person or meet that person. Therefore, I think there's something that needs to be organized on this side. And this 2 of Wands, excuse me, this 2 of Wands is looking that way. It's looking towards your financial sort of side. Same with the Empress as well. And I think she's got that, just keeping things, I think the universe is here saying, keep things harmonious more than anything else. As I said, it's building something up. And this is where the guides are starting to do it. So if you want to get ahead of yourself, which is really good, this helps with manifestation. Just notice the little coincidences that are around you within your relationships. So it could be a song that plays on the radio whilst you're thinking about someone. And that'll be kind of like, it's a bit of a footnote to say, better contact that person, go out for a cup of tea with that person next week. You know, that sort of thing. So preparing yourself for the following week. I think these are offerings from your guides which are coming in and giving you a heads up for the future, basically. Let's just see what's going on here. So you got the Three of Wands. This is procrastination, but in a good way. It's not acting upon things or not making any real decisions about any relationships that you're going through at the moment. I think it's more of a case of just seeing how things come and go. Very smooth, very consistent relationship side. Looks really nice. But let's just see what's going on in the planning. So this is on the financial sort of side for you. Let's just see what's happening here. Every single person has had the Two of Pentacles. Without exception. It is mad. This is why I think there's something coming up on Tuesday next week. Be interesting to see. I will do a special reading on that. See if we can get anything out of that for on Sunday night. But here is your karmic path. So this is paying attention to the detail. Getting a harmonious balance between it. Rather than just sort of going, oh, I want it. Just kind of going, how do I want it? What do I want? Where do I want it? In what aspect do I want? You know, getting those details and concentrating on one thing at a time when you're doing this. Because that is, your heart is, as I say, really well pointed. And that's concentrating on one thing at a time. I wouldn't be surprised if the Queen of Wands didn't turn up. But like, it's concentrating on things that you're supposed to be doing. And then, you know, once it's very clear and you've got that detail, then you're going to be able to really motor, I think. Five of Swords. This is that, I was getting it, a bit of frustration within you. And I think that's what I was talking about. This is what about talking about being too hard to yourself. I think that's what that card is all about. Walking away from headaches, walking away from conflictual sort of situations that are around you within your business world or in your material world. And I think it's actually walking away from being hard on yourself. Stop it. Stop beating yourself up. You're not helping yourself, you know. And so I think that comes from there rather than from anyone else. Yeah, you might well have people around you that are annoying you, and I wouldn't get involved with them if I was you. But generally, I think it comes initially from you. Hangman. This is how you've got to see things differently. And this is what I'm talking about, seeing things differently, is putting a bit of detail into your desires. Really getting it homed in. And you can do this in 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes in the evening, just a little bit of a meditation, very, very quickly, just to give you the little nuggets of sort of like specifications of how you actually want the thing. And I believe if you start heading down that path, you're going to really rock and roll. You're really going to cut through it, and you'll end up being head and shoulders above the rest. Stop being so hard on yourself and just see how you can do things a little bit differently. Five of Wands. Now, Five of Wands can be conflict around you. Yeah? And it could be a case of the thing is, you know, there is a case for healthy competition. Yeah? Which I explain a lot in this way. I am out there and I want to, I want the most ecological car going. Okay? So I'm putting that out to the universe. And what I end up with is there's two people who come up with a great idea of how to run a car. And they have this healthy competition to see who can arrive first and who can have the best example. And once they arrive together in a way, And eventually, because they recognize the healthy competition between the two and they struggle to be their best, they can take the best example from the other person. And together they can make a really, really good form of transport. And that's what healthy competition is all about. And I think there could be detrimental competition, which is, you know, the way we've been doing things for years, quite literally thousands of years. Here, I think, is being the best example of yourself, seeing things in a different light, not being so difficult to yourself, and striving to be that person. There is holding that wand. That's the person you want to be, because that's what the overall energy is here. And this procrastination on this side, he is holding that one wand as well. And the reason he's holding that wand is to stop him from going anywhere and keeping that side very stable. This here is lifted in the air, such as it is on the 5 of Wands, because it's lifting and rising to the challenge of the future, of what's coming down the line for you, applying your passions into it. So being your better self. Stop beating yourself up, because it will. If you beat yourself up, you will have eventually other people beating you up as well. Well, not literally physically beating you up, but, you know, giving you a hard time and creating conflict within your life. So I would, you know, be gentle with yourself. I did say at the beginning, Virgo. The overall outcome for this, and this is what I said, you're going to be heads and shoulders above the end. This is all to do with your dreams and aspirations, the start. This is to do with your heart chakra. This is to do with your sacrum. And there is a part here, as I said, there's a part which is water, which is your heart, and the other part where it's pouring it onto the land, which is your sacrum. It's much more earthy, the sacrum. It's about fundamental desires, like I am hungry. That is a fundamental desire. Heart's desire is I am hungry and I would like to have a cheese and onion sandwich. But, you know, that's what the planning's coming out of it. And that's why you're doing the planning. That's why you're giving definition to your planning, so you can get your dreams and aspirations, Virgo. Be great. It will be great. Just stop being so hard on yourself. Stop being so hard on yourself. Okay? Little decisions to be made. And it's within you. No, I don't think they're hard decisions. I think you're very, 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 very capable of doing it. Looking at yourself, being honest with yourself, and, you know, calling yourself out. Sometimes we have to do that, you know, and also recognizing when you're doing well. So, I mean, calling yourself out in the sense of, I was really hard on myself. I was, you know, I went in it too quickly, too hard, without allowing things to flow. That's what I do. Thank you very much for your support on this channel, subscribing, clicking that bell, being with us. It's very much appreciated. YouTube are really soaping us at the moment. We're not getting any impressions at all. I don't know what I've done wrong, but, you know, I guess YouTube does. So yeah, your support is fundamental, really. Thank you very much for that. In the meantime, don't forget, life should be fun, so please do enjoy.